Good morning. It is Friday, the 30th of May. We've not had a beautiful morning, but we made a little bit of money. Yesterday, when NVIDIA reported the day before and the market started down, and I kept buying the dips thinking it would turn around. And I broke rule one. And rule one is uh, never trade against the moving average. These are my moving average lines here. If price is below that moving average, you should never go long. And if it's above that moving average, you should never go short. And I broke that rule repeatedly yesterday, and it cost me a lot of money. So that's a lesson I've learned over and over again. I guess someday I'll finally quit doing it because it never works out. This morning was a really ugly opening. If you look, we dropped a lot about 7 o'clock. I don't know what that was. It was not news because our news came out at 7:30. We actually went up a little bit on the PCE news. Um, I'll see if I can explain this. There was a lot going on, and I didn't do a great job with it as usual. I've got to be a little more patient. But I got stopped out in here. I was only going short. I was not going to go long. Once we got this down bar and broke below this, I was only going to go short. Um, but this was chopping around. So even though I was right in my entry, I got taken out a couple of times, and then we came back up here. And when this bar turned from green to red, I got in, and I got a good 10-point trade there. Uh, when when this bar broke below this bar, I got in, and I got stopped out for a small loss there. I thought this thing would really push down. It pushed down about 8 or 9 points, and I should have taken that. The bottom of this green bar here now becomes a balance point. If you see that the top of this wick right here, we went exactly to that balance point, and as soon as we started to reverse off of it, I got in short. You also see that we have a, a our moving averages have come together here. They're piled on top of each other. Is what I'm trying to say. So that's always a good point for price to bounce off of. Uh, so I got short there, and I got out here. Shows up here, but I got out here. And then when this candle came back up, I got in again and got short again. When we broke the bottom of this candle, I got in and I got taken out for a stop. I thought we were going to accelerate on down. Eventually, we got back up here almost to the balance point, and it looked like that was as close to the balance point. This is another balance point here. Looked like that was as high as we were going to get, so I got in. Uh, it did go down a little bit, and I didn't get out, and I ended up stopping out for just like a point. But here we finally made it up to the balance point, basically, just almost close enough. And I got back in, and then I got a full like 20 points on this deal. So a lot of trading, a lot more trading than was necessary. I did not do a good job on this. I did end up making about $220 per account today, which is kind of I prefer to make 400, but 200 a day. If you can do that on one account, you get more accounts, you get more money. So the total for me today was about $440 is all we did today. But because of the pre-market chop, and that's what I was really going to talk about, was if you look at, we came down and then we were just chopping. So I did not expect this to be a clean opening. I was really just should have been a little more patient on waiting for price to pull down, above or below the moving average, whichever way it's going to go. This morning, looking at some of the longer term stuff, it could have really gone either way. But I kind of figured we were probably going down. We'd gone down yesterday, and we had this big drop here. So I got to it today. I made a little money, and that's a win for sure. Trading is hard, and any day you can break even or make a little money, you've had a really good day. I hope everybody has a good weekend, and we will get back with you guys next Monday.